So firstly, you should know that the circulatory system is made up of the heart and blood vessels. And we said there are three types of blood vessels. We have veins, we have arteries, and we have capillaries. So we have arteries, we have our veins, and you should know the basic differences between arteries and veins. So we're saying arteries, basically they carry blood away from the heart. The best way to remember this is to remember the letter A in artery. A, artery, A, away. So artery, away. So veins carry blood towards the heart. And as a general rule, most arteries carry oxygenated blood. But there is only one artery that carries deoxygenated blood, which is the pulmonary artery. All arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart, but only the pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood away from the heart and towards the lungs. The same with all the veins. They carry deoxygenated blood towards the heart, but only one vein carries oxygenated blood towards the heart, which is the pulmonary vein. So all veins carry deoxygenated blood towards the heart, except for the pulmonary vein, which carries oxygenated blood towards the heart from the lungs. So those are the things you just need to remember about arteries and veins. So artery away. And you should remember the four chambers of the heart. We have the right atrium, we have the left atrium, we have the right ventricle, the left ventricle. And you should remember that there is the vena cava, which is the largest vein that collects deoxygenated blood from all body parts. So we have blood that is deoxygenated coming from all body parts, and all that blood goes through the vena cava into the right atrium. So after that, what happens? We are going to have our blood moving into the right ventricle through what is known as the tricuspid valve. And you should remember that these valves simply prevent the backflow of blood. So what happens when our blood goes into the right ventricle? It is pumped through the pulmonary artery towards the lungs. It is pumped through the pulmonary artery towards the lungs. And what happens when it goes to the lungs? It goes to the air sacs. And this is where our blood capillaries come into play. We said we have three types of blood vessels. We have our arteries, veins, and capillaries. Where do you find capillaries in this case? You're going to find them around your air sac or around your alveolus or many alveoli. So what happens? These capillaries allow for gaseous exchange to take place, and we are going to have carbon dioxide diffusing out of the blood and oxygen diffusing into the blood, and this happens in the lungs on the air sac. This is called gaseous exchange. So the blood comes back towards the heart through the pulmonary vein. So it is this pulmonary vein, it is the only vein that carries oxygenated blood towards the heart. So there it goes through the pulmonary vein, and it goes into the left atrium, from the left atrium into the left ventricle, through what is called the mitral valve or bicuspid valve, and it goes into the aorta to the rest of the body. And you should note that we have the walls of the left ventricles there that are thicker than the walls of the right ventricle, and we say this is because the right ventricle is pumping blood under very high pressure to all body parts, whilst the right ventricle only pumps blood towards the lungs, which is a shorter distance. So the muscles of the left ventricle are stronger and thicker than those of the right ventricle. So basically, this is what we have. These are the facts that you need to remember concerning our circulatory system.